Well, we've started. Andy Nishida, you are here with me today on this windy day. We're here to talk about the upcoming Tweed ride, but first, before you do that, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you in the city and you ride and what's your interest in bikes, first of all?
Yeah, sure. So, thanks for having me, first off. I am a bike rider from way back, mainly road riding, mainly because of my interest in the Tour de France from way back, like in the late 80s. It's kind of when I started riding. So I ride mostly on my own. I'll do rides with Rob every once in a while, here and there. But I don't know. I'm not a huge rider. I think I told you maybe rode 700 miles this year. It's mainly my major form of staying in shape.
Cool.
And I live in Carytown, so which is pretty central, which is nice. So it's easy for me to get out and do rides all over town and out into the, kind of outside the city limits a little bit too, where it's nicer to ride. Yeah. And then as far as the Art Deco Society, I am the president of the Art Deco Society of Virginia. We're based here in Richmond. We've been around since 2012, and we just have a various amounts of events and things basically to kind of surrounding our mission of promoting the aesthetic and design and everything related to the Art Deco era, which basically spans from, I don't know, if you go back all the way to the origins in France to like 1914 or so to like 1939, 1940-ish. So we're into everything from architecture, graphic design, artwork, the music, dressing vintage. Also, I'm a vintage clothing aficionado, so I like to dress vintage. And so that's kind of what we're into. So we have walking tours, world lectures. We have a lot of social events throughout the year. We average about one event per month, which is actually maybe it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're organizing all of them, it
Yeah.
ends up
Yeah,
being a
well,
lot.
yeah. I'm sure it does. I mean, one event's, probably enough to try to do. I feel like I'm having problems with my microphone. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So just one topic about the Art Deco Society. Name some of your favorite Art Deco places in Richmond? Is the Hippodrome Art Deco?
So yeah, interesting. The Hippodrome was actually built before the Art Deco era, like in the teens. I think I want to say 1913 or so. And you may or may not know, but they had a pretty big fire in the early 40s, I want to say, that kind of devastated it. And when they rebuilt it, they kind of did it in an Art Deco style. And I think it reopened in 1947 or so. So it's a later version of Art Deco, but yeah, so that's definitely an example. Probably the best examples in town are Thomas Jefferson High School out near Willow Lawn, which is just a super beautiful building. Not many people know about it because it's just tucked away in a neighborhood really close to where Stella's restaurant and grocery are.
Mm,
But that's a beautiful example. And then also West Hospital on the MCV campus downtown, right there. I guess that would be 13th and Broad Streets. It's a really
yeah.
beautiful brick example of Art Deco here in town. And of course, Central National Bank building, which is like one of the taller buildings. It stands out because it's kind of by itself there around 2nd and Broad Street, away from all the other skyscrapers. But that's also the other prime example of Art Deco here in Richmond.
Wow, that's cool. So it's not just about bikes. So how did you translate the Art Deco Society into a Tweed bike ride? And then tell people what the Tweed bike ride is, and we'll get the dates and times out. But how did you decide to do that? And how many times have you done this type of ride?
Right. So the Tweed ride was initially started as a ride in London back in 2009, and their ride is called the Tweed Run. And it was basically just kind of a crazy idea for people to dress up in tweed, kind of a classic British style dress, and to ride bikes. Generally,
Penny farthings, I'm assuming, right?
no, it wasn't quite that old, but they did encourage vintage bikes as well, and some people went all out and dressed vintagey and also rode vintage bikes, but that's not wasn't a requirement, and I don't think it is either anymore or still to this day. But so I already kind of knew about that whole event before we started the Art Deco Society, and then when we started the Art Deco Society, we were trying to come up with ideas to have events that we could, do here in town, and that was an idea that we thought would be a good way to, just to get people out, to get people to know what we do and what we're about, because who doesn't like to ride bikes? And it's something different. It's not you don't have to be a serious bike rider. You can just get on whatever bike you have in your basement or garage, and you don't even have to dress up if you don't want. We don't require you to dress up, but just the dressing up part was also part of the fun kind of uniqueness of our ride, and our ride is very casual. I mean, nobody gets dropped. I plan the route and I make it as flat as possible, mainly because my bike, I ride a vintage bike and it only has one gear.
Wow.
So, and my bike probably weighs about 50 pounds. maybe even more than that. It's a 1930 Hawthorne boys bike. It's super heavy, but it's super fun to ride. Needs a lot of work still, but I can ride it.
Wow, that I can't wait to see that. I hope people go out and do that. So, in doing this, now a couple of times, how many people generally come out, and how many? What can people expect? And let's get the specifics out of the way first. So,
Okay.
where it's at Penny Lane Pub. I think you have to meet on Sunday.
Yeah, so this Sunday, October 16th, we meet at Penny Lane. Kind of goes with the whole, tradition of it starting in England. So we start and finish at Penny Lane. 11 o'clock is when we start gathering, and we talk about registration, which basically just means you're going to sign something that says you're not going to sue us if you fall down. And then we're head out about 11:30. And the ride it's probably less than 10 miles. And because we're kind of going slow, we might stop at a couple places. It probably takes a couple hours. So it's very casual. Um, and then we'll finish at Penny Lane, and anyone who wants to hang out, have it like a snack or a late lunch. That's what we usually do, just to have a little social hour. And that's pretty much it. And as far as how many people show up, it really, I mean, it's one of those things you tell people are going to do this thing and you just hope anybody shows up. So in past
Yeah,
years, we've had as many as, I don't know, I would say as many as 20 people, 25 people, maybe at most. Bike Monday Bros are going to be our ride marshals. So they'll be out there help making sure that we're all staying safe.
nice. Way to go, Keith Ramsey and crew
Exactly. Yeah.
of Bike Monday Bros. So, in terms of garb and what people wear, do you already have your outfit picked out? And if so, can you spoil it and tell us what it's going to be, or should we wait to see?
It's a little bit of a game day decision because I'm watching the weather. So it looks like it's going to be pretty warm on Sunday, like 74, which is great for a bike ride when you think about it, but it might make it a little toasty if you're going to wear like full on tweed. So I might not wear a jacket. Like a lot of times I'll wear a tweed jacket and tweed pants, maybe, and a tie. Maybe I'll just go for a vest this time and not have a whole jacket, so I don't get too overheated. But yeah, generally tie is in order for sure. But this, definitely, like I said, you don't have to wear tweed if you didn't have it. But just come out and ride bikes with us. That's really all that matters.
Yeah. And is there a cost for anyone? Just registration is just showing up and signing the thing, but just there's no cost or anything.
No, exactly. It's totally free. Yep.
All right. So in the past years, what are some of the best outfits you've kind of seen and or bikes?
Let's see. Well, Keith Ramsey, if he brings he's got like a he's like a flyer. I'm not sure exactly what the brand is, but it's a
Hmm.
really beautiful vintage bike that he has, and he's brought it on previous occasions, but he doesn't bring it every time. So that's his vintage bike is probably one of my favorites. We've not had anybody come on a penny farthing that I know of yet, but
Thank
I
God.
wouldn't put it past somebody. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. Those are, I mean, it'd be interesting to see, but I've watched GCN videos, which is the Global Cycling Network, where
Yeah.
they've tried to race the penny farthings. I think the guy Hank, tried to race it around a velodrome and just like he fell over. He was in such pain. Like I don't know I don't even know like how you get on that type of thing.
No, I don't even know. Yeah, those guys are crazy.
That's really cool. So we're looking at 74 degrees, 11 o'clock, Penny Lane Pub. I have a corduroy jacket. I'm going to try to dress up. I want to come and try to do it. I'll try to make it look vintagey. Any top hats or anything like that? I guess you're wearing helmets, so maybe no top hats.
Actually, I am a huge proponent of wearing helmets normally, but this is the one ride where I don't wear a helmet because it doesn't really go with the look. And I probably shouldn't say that because yeah, I feel like anytime you get on a two-wheeler, you should be wearing a helmet.
Well, yeah, around the city. But I do have a hat. I do have a tweedy looking cap that goes under my
Okay,
bike
yeah.
helmet that I may take off.
Oh yeah, nice.
Well, cool, Andrew. Thanks for telling us about the Tweed ride for the Art Deco Society. And if people want to get more information, I guess they can look it up on Facebook or any other spots to kind of get more information.
Yeah, we have a Facebook event. What is it called? It's the Art Deco Society's Tweed Ride, I think is what it's called, annual Tweed Ride. And certainly people can DM me via Facebook. This is easy, but yeah, certainly I think we pretty much covered it. There's not a whole lot more to say about it, really.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you wanted to come on. I'm glad that you came on to the RVA Bike Scene podcast to talk about what's going on this week. And I can't wait to meet you in person. We have a mutual friend in our past. So
Yes,
thanks again.
same here. Yeah,
Great.
looking forward
Thank
to
you.
it.
All right.